Hello, guys. I'm with my favorite president, the best president of.
Nicki Minaj is no longer just facing criticism. She's now at the center of a full-blown firestorm. Social media timelines are erupting, industry insiders are whispering behind closed doors, and the backlash is spreading faster than anyone expected. Just when it seemed the noise could not grow louder, veteran actor Samuel L. Jackson stepped in with pointed public remarks, adding fuel to an already raging controversy and pushing the situation into even more dangerous territory.
Black culture is being held captive by influences, songs,
Which
and role models. I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model.
According to Samuel L. Jackson, what makes the situation even more troubling is the sense that Nicki Minaj may not fully grasp the room she just walked into. From his perspective, she didn't enter a partnership, she stepped into a chess game. The political figures she's aligning with aren't offering loyalty or respect. They're calculating, extracting value, and cashing in on her name while she takes the public hits. In his eyes, she isn't being treated as an equal voice at the table. She's being positioned like a prop, a headline, a strategic tool. When Jackson speaks, people listen because this isn't new territory for him. He's built a reputation on calling out power without flinching. For years, he's gone straight at former President Donald Trump with zero hesitation, no soft language, no careful phrasing, no PR polish. Whether in policy debates, televised, interviews, or viral posts, Jackson has stayed consistent, hammering what he sees as dangerous rhetoric and reckless decisions. He doesn't whisper his opinions. He fires them off like warning shots. One notable moment that still circulates online is when he publicly backed Representative Rashida Tlaib after she used raw, unfiltered language demanding Trump's impeachment. While others tried to tone it down, Jackson doubled down, defending her intensity and making it clear he believed that force was exactly what the moment required.
You have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president. Donald Trump, he gets to hang out with young and have 50 different wives and just...
Samuel Jackson didn't mince words when addressing celebrities jumping on that bandwagon. He suggested their endorsements weren't driven by belief or principle, but by something far less noble: fear of losing access, money, or relevance. In his view, it wasn't courage behind those decisions. It was survival instinct and self-interest dressed up as loyalty, deals, connections, and protection, the quiet transactions that happen behind closed doors while the public sees nothing. But smiling photos and staged handshakes, for Jackson, this wasn't abstract politics, it was personal history. He pointed to his childhood under segregation, navigating a country that made painfully clear who was welcome and who wasn't. He recognized the same cold energy in Trump. Not just policies, but familiar attitudes, the smirks, coded language, and invisible walls of men who built careers on limiting opportunities for Black Americans. To him, it wasn't new. It was a rerun. He described the Republican playbook as a system that quietly isolates anyone outside its preferred circle: young voters, LGBTQ communities, minorities, turning entire groups into convenient enemies. If you don't fit the mold, you're treated as a threat. That's why Jackson's warning about Nicki Minaj carries extra weight. From his perspective, the people she's standing beside don't reflect her world, her struggles, or her reality. They don't share her values or guard her interests. Historically, they haven't fought for people who look like her or come from where she comes from. To Jackson, it looks less like an alliance and more like a tragic collision between lived experience and political loyalty that was never designed to protect her in the first place. Fans, critics, and casual observers are watching closely, a superstar stepping into unfamiliar territory, surrounded by applause that doesn't quite feel sincere.
Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell. Not quite. Not as much. But that's okay. But Nicki...
Is this entire situation going all the way over Nicki Minaj's brain and her spidey senses? As the whole room just laughed at her and she...
Samuel L. Jackson didn't soften his stance or hide behind careful phrasing. He fully backed Representative Rashida Tlaib's choice of words, flipping the narrative by arguing that the real insult wasn't the profanity. It was still calling Donald Trump president at all. To him, the title carried more damage than any curse could. That moment wasn't random outrage. It revealed a pattern. Jackson has built a career standing on the opposite side of Trump's political orbit, and now he's channeling that same unfiltered energy toward Nicki Minaj's latest moves, questioning why she would step anywhere near that circle. For years, he's used interviews, red carpets, and live microphones like warning sirens, refusing to downplay how serious he believes the situation is. He doesn't treat politics like a side conversation, he talks about it like a 5-alarm fire. In multiple appearances, Jackson described Trump's decisions as spreading damage far beyond Washington, with consequences bleeding into everyday lives. At one point, he said the former president was ruining the planet, a phrase loaded with urgency, like time itself was running out. He didn't stop at politicians. Jackson turned his aim toward celebrities, the quiet, comfortable ones hiding behind neutral statements. He warned that staying silent isn't safety, it's complicity. Platforms come with responsibility, and failing to use them makes you part of the problem. So when big names like Snoop Dogg, Nelly, and Nicki Minaj publicly showed support for Trump, the tension snapped tight. When the Daily Beast asked if his view had mellowed, his response was cold and immediate. Nothing had changed. He still saw Trump's leadership as deeply destructive, and anyone aligning with it knowingly or not was stepping straight into the fallout. The loudest critics aren't convinced that Nicki Minaj has found a loyal political home. They argue the opposite. The people she's standing beside don't see her as a partner at all. To them, she's not a long-term ally, she's a temporary headline, a photo op, a flashy name that looks good on a flyer. From their perspective, it's all optics. The relationship isn't built on respect or shared values, but on usefulness, and usefulness has an expiration date. The moment the cameras move on, the moment her symbolic shine fades, those applauding her now may quietly push her aside, like yesterday's news dot at a recent summit tied to Donald Trump's circle. Someone made an offhand joke about Minaj. Money in the room erupted not in nervous chuckles, but in real laughter. Observers say the energy shifted instantly, while Minaj appeared to laugh along. Others weren't laughing with her, they were laughing at her. That tiny, uncomfortable gap spoke louder than any speech. Critics replayed the moment repeatedly, seeing it as a snapshot of disconnect. She seemed to think she was part of the inner circle, while the circle treated her like the punchline. Looking back, figures in that political ecosystem haven't been friendly to her. Voices like Charlie Kirk once openly criticized Minaj, questioning her influence on young fans, and framing her cultural presence as a problem to fix rather than a legacy to respect. Now, she appears alongside Erica Kirk, echoing talking points and amplifying a movement that once targeted her. Critics see the shift as painfully one-sided. While Minaj defends those who once opposed her, the support has never flowed both ways. The uncomfortable question lingers: has she truly joined the table, or is she simply being placed on it?
Not being represented and not being admired for our beauty. If we felt like that as Black women, why would we want to do that to other women? No. Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty so that we can feel? No, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty.
That sharp contrast
has everyone leaning in, dissecting every move. The question isn't politics anymore, it's awareness. Is this a calculated strategy, outside pressure, or a slow shift in priorities no one saw coming? Analysts warn that the energy in those rooms doesn't feel like respect. They aren't applauding Nicki Minaj's catalog or cultural impact. They're applauding the optics she brings, the headline, the symbolism, the shock value. And once reduced to an image, you're disposable. Critics argue that this leaves her vulnerable to the same dismissal she faced before, just under a different banner. Used when convenient, dropped when it's not. Things escalated after her appearance at Turning Point USA. Stepping on stage beside Erica Kirk, lights blazing, cameras rolling. She suggested Black women shouldn't diminish the beauty of blonde, blue-eyed white women, framing it as a mirror to historical underrepresentation. The backlash was instant. Critics pointed out that Eurocentric features have long been elevated, not sidelined. To many, her words sounded less like analysis and more like recycled talking points from the circles she had just joined. Suddenly, the woman who once challenged the system sounded like she was defending it. The scrutiny intensified when she publicly praised Donald Trump, calling him handsome and dashing, reversing the rhetoric she once condemned. Analysts called it cinematic whiplash, one year criticizing, the next complimenting. Adding to the intrigue, she congratulated conservative figure Alex Brutes on his wedding, raising questions about the depth and timing of their connection. 2. Outsiders. It looked strategic proximity to power disguised as personal attachment. Critics tied these choices to the broader narrative Samuel L. Jackson warned about. Certain spaces tolerate you while you're useful, then discard you. They argued she looked less like a respected ally and more like a symbolic trophy. Whispers about personal pressures from family legal issues to her husband's history fueled speculation that alliances might offer protection or a new narrative. Whether fair or not, the transformation is undeniable. For longtime fans, credibility feels cracked. Even if she pivots back, trust may not follow. Jackson's warnings echo, symbolic allies get used, then replaced. And now the question looms. Over everything, does Nicki truly realize how these rooms see her? The debate has shifted from politics to motive, and her public image is being rewritten in real time. Fans, critics, and casual observers are watching closely as superstars stepping into unfamiliar territory, surrounded by applause that doesn't quite feel sincere.